Good morning. It is October 14th at about quarter to 7 in the morning. And I just wanted to go over uh, some updates and some new positions. First, let's start with Bitcoin. If you remember yesterday, right here at the base of this arrow is roughly where Bitcoin was yesterday when I told you the more likely scenario was that it would go up into this resistance zone, which is exactly what it did. It climbed most of the day yesterday, and even overnight, it shot up to here. Now, I did not take the trade here, but if you had, you're looking at about 8%. We're still in greed. I'll flip over to the fear and greed chart right now, and yesterday we were in greed, dropping down from extreme greed at 78 the day before, which is why there was the correction, I believe. Today we're at the same as yesterday, 70. So there's a decent chance it will continue to rise over today, somewhere in this resistance zone. If it rejects at this resistance zone, you're in for a little bearish action, some short-term reduced prices. If it breaks through this resistance zone, the next target, if it breaks and closes above this with some kind of confirmation, whether it's huge amount of volume, or it closes above and then bounces off, like closes above, comes back down to retest this as support and bounces, then I would say we're in for all-time highs at about 65,000. But there's a lot of ifs there. First, we've got to get through this resistance zone. Let's see what happens. But as I said, this is likely to go up, and it did. It's still likely to go up a little or stay up in this resistance zone, but only time will tell. I'm not taking any trades right here. Ethereum, it behaved similar to Bitcoin. It went up last night. I did not take a trade. I don't have a signal. I'm technically still in a long signal here. Link, I did get a signal to go long here, which I did, and it has just really shot up. It's doing well. It actually is, right now, it's above this previous line of resistance support, and it's retesting this area right here, this zone. If it gets above this 50-day moving average, that would be very bullish for Link. Doge just took a position and it's really not doing much. It shot up a little and has returned. You can see I have a long signal here. The real test for this, the first real test, is going to cross this 20 period moving average right up at about roughly 24.5 cents, a little less than 24 cents. The next will be this descending line right here that you can see. We have 3 touch points along it. This has been acting as resistance, and that is going to come in somewhere up here around 25.5. So it's got a lot to get through to really make some moves. Cardano is also in a descending pattern. It only has 2 touch points, so it's not very strong. Right now, there's no signal. I went short, and as I told you, just like my other positions, I moved my stops, and for the most part, took my cheeseburgers and ran. And it's a good thing because they did basically turn around. This is Solana. This is forming kind of a wedge pattern, and I did get a signal to go short here. I am still in this short signal that I took the other day. You already saw it. So I'm not doing anything with this. I do have my stops. I have a stop up here at the top of this. I have a take profit down here near the bottom, because I'm kind of waiting to see what this is going to do. And that's common as it's getting this consolidation. It's like the currency is trying to figure out which direction to go. At the end of this wedge, it's likely to break one direction, up or down. Which way? I really don't know. Just based on history, this looks like a bullish coin. So if I had to make one guess, I would say it's going to break out and go up. But I honestly do not know. And if you're wondering, why is it doing this? What's doing? Well, you've seen me use the Fibonacci retracement tool over and over and over again, and showing you one of the most common points of resistance is the 0.618 to 0.65 Fibonacci level. And if you look, and I've showed you many times how it works, and I'll just bring it out real quick. So after it made this move from here down to here, where is it likely to find resistance on the way back? Well, let's take a look. So from here to the top, one resistance point is likely to be in this area right here. And here it broke through, but if you take the same tool and turn it the other direction, so from this high down to here, you can see after it got to this point, to get back up to that same level, you're going to have to break through the 0.61865 Fibonacci level. And it didn't. It bounced, it found resistance at that and came back, which is what I have showed many times. So let's do it again. What about after it made this move from here to here? Where is it likely to find resistance? Well, guess what? I'll make it a little bigger so maybe you can see it better. Right here, where it bounced again. So after it made this level, I made it through this level. Where is it likely to find resistance? Well, this maintains kind of a resistance zone. You can do this over and over, and that's kind of why cipher patterns work. If you've ever seen cipher patterns, so here's another one right here at from this isn't even a swing high, so it's not really a point to do it. But again, where did it find some kind of resistance? In this area. You can see this over and over, and when it breaks through these levels, typically they move to the next area of support or resistance. There are a lot of factors. This is only one minor factor, but just so you can see how it does come into play over and over and over again, these Fibonacci levels. But in this case, really it's just in a wait and see pattern. Don't know what it's going to do. Litecoin. I did take just took a long position here, expecting this one is kind of a gamble because I don't have a signal in it, but a lot of the altcoins are moving up and they tend to move together. So I did take a small position. If it reaches this 50 period moving average up here, that's the area I'm probably going to take profits. SNX, I have no position in. It is currently in a wait and see mode. It could be forming a double bottom or even a triple bottom, depending on how you looked at it. But this current double bottom right here, hopefully you can see this. So it has found this bottom, it's come up to here, hit the bottom right here for the double bottom, and it's heading up. In order for it to, basically form a double bottom pattern completely and do this, actually let me draw that a little differently so you can see it. Somewhere here is a path. And I can't find it right now. I'm sorry. I do these videos without retakes, so I do it in one shot, but you get the idea. This W formation right here, a double bottom, will then go up. The only way it will actually be a true double bottom and break above and run, like, possibly not guaranteed, is if it breaks this neckline. So this next move will have to come up, break above this, and then some people want to see a retest of this line, like where it would come down and touch it and then launch from there. Some people wait for this move here to go long. Some really aggressive traders just wait for it to break above and they take it right there. So it really depends on how aggressive you are. And if you've back tested the double bottom on this particular currency and it works, great, use it. I'm not going to use this as my signal. I have a strategy. As you can see, my last time my strategy fired, it told me to go short, and it has not changed since then. I will not probably take a signal on this until I get the next long signal, and once I get that, I will go long because I trust this strategy. Ren, I did take a long position similar to some of the others. I got a signal to go long with my strategy, and I just took this position. Hopefully this helps. I'll hit a couple others real quick. I don't have any position in SHIB, but I do have some friends who took this position and they have done really well. You can see it hasn't been around very long, and I did get a signal to go long here. I didn't take it. Boy, do I wish I would have, because that would have been a order of magnitude or a 10x so far. Had I taken this right here, I'll just bring out the profit. If anyone who had took it back then, they have right now a 296% profit, and that is just if you bought on the spot market with no leverage. That's a pretty good return. But I didn't take it. It's a brand new coin, roughly brand new, and this is the first signal. So far, that signal is 100% correct. Cake, I don't have anything in Cake. And DOT, I don't have anything currently in DOT. Again, this would have been a nice one had I taken this position. Currently, it would be sitting at 30% gains, but I did not take this, and I'm waiting to see how it does. This is also brand new. So far, only 3 signals have been generated. This one, if I would have taken that until the reverse signal, it would have been 134% profit. Had I taken this short right here, if I would have waited for the other signal, which I would not have myself, but if you did, again, it would have been a win, a small profit. But this one did something very interesting. Remember the double bottom I was talking about? And let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Here's a path. So here is the pattern. So it went down, touched bottom here, went up. Now you have a neckline, went down, touched bottom for the double bottom, then broke above this level, right? Broke above this level. Here's the retest of that level, and then launch. So that's the idea behind the double bottom pattern. I'm going to remove this so it's even easier to see, hopefully. Maybe I'll leave it. So here's the double bottom. It found, and I'll change the color to show that as a support. It hit this bottom once, came up, formed the neckline, came down, retested this area of support, and is technically a double bottom. The way I measure double bottoms, and everybody's different, of course, but the way I measure double bottoms is actually, let me shorten this up. If Now I will remove this so you can see it easier. I measure from the bottom of the candle to the bottom of the wick on the first bottom. If the second bottom comes down and touches this zone, I consider it a valid double bottom. If a candle, any candle, closes below this line, below this wick line, then for me, it invalidates the candle, and I do not consider it a valid double bottom anymore. I actually then see it as what's called trend continuation. Why? Because now we've made a lower low. What you don't want to see in a reversal, this is a reversal pattern. What you don't want to see in a reversal is when it makes from lower highs, you don't want it to continue making lower highs and lower lows. If it makes a lower low, then to me, that's the end of the pattern. It's now in trend continuation. I would not be looking for it to all of a sudden out of nowhere bounce and turn bullish. However, if this bounces once off this level, comes back, retests it at the same level, where even this candle can be above, but for me, a wick has to come down and touch it to be an actual double bottom, and then propel from there. The next thing I check for is the top here. And if this neckline is broken, then it is a valid double bottom for me. And again, I will take out this pattern tool, take the path out from here. It came down to this area, came up to the neckline, retested, is now a valid double bottom. It did break above this and closed above this. Here it came down and retested the level and then went from there. So this is a perfect example of a double bottom with a retest. In either of these cases, whether you were a very aggressive trader and took this trade the second it crossed above this line, or were the type of trader that waits for the retest and took the trade, either way, you'd be sitting in a great spot right now. You'd be in a huge win. I did not take this trade myself. I have no trades, and I've never taken a trade in DOT, but just showing this as an example of a perfect double bottom. All right, sorry about the length of this one. This one again is kind of a long video, but I went over some additional things that I don't normally cover. And Bitcoin still looking strong and bullish. It's only in greed again, so it is actually still likely it's going to stay at least in this area today. It could even go up a little, but you know the way the markets are, anything can happen. It could reject out of this resistance zone and start heading to the downside, which is why I currently have no trade in Bitcoin. Hope this helps. If you want these immediately, subscribe with notifications on, and have a wonderful day and happy trading.